I will still never be selling all of my XCN, and here are the reasons why, even though nothing I say is financial advice. It's because even after this cycle is over, I still want to keep at least 10% of my current XCN holdings because I believe in the long-term future of Onyx, and I like what it's trying to do. But before I get into that, some people may be thinking, whoa, how does this even make sense? Well, even though I can't speak on anyone's behalf, I'm going to give my perspective when it comes to this, because let's say XCN hypothetically went to the price of 25 cents during a fully fledged type of altcoin season. I'm totally aware that at some point there is going to be bear market once the altcoin season is over. I'm totally aware that, what like we saw back in 2021, the cycle before that, there's going to be a pullback. However, even if let's say XCN went to the price of 25 cents and had a 90%, pullback, let's say it went to the price of 2.5 cents. Even 2.5 cents comparatively to XCN right now is still actually nearly a 2x on top of the price of XCN currently. So it's actually still more than right now, 2.5 cents, even assuming XCN had a 90% pullback from the price of 25 cents, if it ever even reaches that. So this is the way I take a look at this situation. Take a look at, for instance, Cardano's native token called ADA. At one point, the price was around a couple cents. Then in 2021, price went to around $3. Had a pullback, of course, but it never reached like those low prices ever again. And I don't think it maybe could ever in the future. However, who knows? I do not know the future, but it just doesn't give me that vibe where it could maybe do that. Take a look at, for instance, I get it, Bitcoin at one point was at the price of $1. It was even at the price of $1,000 as well. Now, is it ever going to go there again? Again, I do not know the future, but it doesn't seem like that is logical currently, considering the adoption, sort of the attention that Bitcoin has. So when it comes to XCN, I get it. It's no Bitcoin. It's no Cardano, right? It's not Cardano's native token called ADA. It doesn't have that popularity. It doesn't have that sort of attention. But just in a much smaller scale, maybe kind of having that rise and that pullback, even at that point, I would still be wanting to hold my XCN because, just like I mentioned before, if let's say even the pullback is 90% from 25 cents, around 2.5 cents, that's still more than what is currently XCN right now. However, why do I think that 25 cents doesn't seem that ridiculous to me? It's because considering current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $8.5 billion, and that's around a 16x from here. At that market cap, that is still around 10 times less than Dogecoin's all-time high market cap back in 2021, and that's not even 10% of XRP's current market cap. And arguably XRP, many people are saying that for this cycle, it maybe hasn't done what it's supposed to do hypothetically yet. Like, some people don't think we've seen that top when it comes to altcoins, so it doesn't seem like this is something too ridiculous, especially considering how, if we take a look at XRP and XLM, the top two projects within this space that are focused on payments, global trade finance, or should I say Ripple and Stellar, there's not that many options beyond that that are reputable. Because, for instance, we take a look at XDC, we take a look at Swiftcoin, we take a look at XPR, we take a look at Zebic, aka ZBCN, and then, of course, we have XCN, which we're talking about right now. That's not that many. That's not like 20 or 30 major competitors. And if XRP has a bright long-term future, arguably, some people are saying, I think something just by proxy, something like XCN could maybe also be around for quite a long time as well, because some of that attention sometimes flows into this. Like, they look for other options. There's actually not even that many to begin with. And XCN is one of the few that are there right now. So I do like its long-term future. It's kind of established itself currently as being one of the competitors, or should I say one of the solid competitors beyond XRP and XLM. So I do like this. However, even beyond that, some people are saying, oh, Onyx isn't doing too much. Well, they're actually doing pretty good things. For instance, they're trying to launch Goliath, a layer 1 blockchain for the world of finance, at least its mainnet, in Q1 of next year, of 2026. So that's very impressive. And also, we take a look at what Onyx is doing when it comes to Onyx V2 and the Onyx wallet, which, by the way, very recently I talked about kind of news regarding the Onyx wallet and getting approval when it comes to the Google Play Store and the App Store. So that's a major victory. And if you want to check out a video that I did on that, take a look at my most recent last video. So they're not doing really, I think, anything too special in terms of, like, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We take a look at a wallet, for instance, something like, the aspect of Onyx V2, and also we take a look at something like Goliath, which is allegedly going to be a layer 1 blockchain for the world of finance. Those three aspects are nothing new. For instance, it's not like there has never been a layer 1 blockchain that is focused on the world of finance. You know what I mean? Like, we take a look at Stellar. The Stellar blockchain is already very amazing. arguably we don't really need another one, but then in the same time, it's like, you know what, having other options, why not? So I like the Onyx sort of direction that it seems to be heading. I like its fundamentals because it's focused on the payments market, focused on global trade and finance. So I like Onyx's fundamentals. I like what it's focused on. I like the direction it seems to be heading. And all I'm doing right now is just staying patient, holding and just waiting and preparing myself for a moment in time in which XCN has that next leg up, because I do not know the future. However, what I can do is just control what is within my control, and that is just holding and just waiting. That's it. I'm preparing for a moment in time in which it does something, as opposed to trying to find the exact moment in time it does something, if that makes sense. It's all about preparation for me and not more so about anticipating the exact moment. So this is why I'm staying patient. But regardless, if let's say the cycle ends, XCN has a pretty big pullback, I still arguably want to be keeping at least 10% of what I have, because I just believe in its long-term future, and I like how it's often already kind of considered as a reputable alternative beyond the market leaders like Ripple and Stellar. So I kind of like the direction in which it's heading. However, only time will tell. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's only the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.